Hello again, everyone. The focus of this module is to clear up some misconceptions or myths about archaeology by discussing these two questions. What is archaeology and what archaeologists do? First, what is archaeology? Archaeology literally means the study of beginnings, or the social science that investigates the human remains of human history. As a science, archaeology studies the physical remains of the human past. It examines the remains of war, roads, pieces of pottery, artwork, coins, etc. It investigates plant seeds, animal bones, and human skeletons. Archaeology focuses on the human remains and especially the highly civilized and densely populated ruins of towns and cities where people lived over long periods of time. Second, what is the purpose of archaeology? Contrary to the popular image of an archaeologist as a fortune hunter, archaeology is a serious discipline dedicated to the search for truth about ancient cultures by studying the material remains of those cultures. Those remains may be such simple things as broken pottery, buildings, and if the archaeologist is fortunate enough, written materials. Biblical archaeologists particularly are interested in the peoples mentioned in the biblical story, and especially the Israelites. Even here, the archaeologist does not set out to prove the Bible. Instead, the purpose is to shed light on the Bible by trying to understand its people and their culture more thoroughly. Third, what is the method of archaeology? To understand what archaeology can tell us, we must understand its method. It begins with selecting the site for the dig. The place that the dig takes place is called a tell. A tell is a flat-topped artificial hill built up over centuries of construction and destruction on basically the same site. Such a mound is called a tell, from the Arabic word for a ruin, usually picking an important spring or ford in a river. The ancient people built up a town of mud brick. With each new rebuilding and settlement, the height of the town grew. Many biblical towns were occupied for thousands of years and have left very high mounds. We will see many of these tells during our travels. The tell of Megiddo in Palestine, for example, stands 70 feet high. Fourth, what other things you will learn in the module? We will examine some of the most important sites that have been discovered in Israel. For example, Arad, Hatzor, Megiddo, Jericho, Jerusalem, and many more. We will be introduced to some of the major archaeological finds in and outside of Israel. The famous Dead Sea Scrolls, the Gilgamesh Epic, Sennacherib's Prism, just to name a few. You will find out that archaeology does not prove the Bible to be true or false. It does provide, at times, strikingly helpful evidence and information in order to understand and interpret the Bible more appropriately. A major aim of archaeology is to discover as much as possible about ancient peoples. Ideally, the archaeologist does not set out to prove anything, but tries to let the evidence speak for itself. Sometimes it speaks for what is described in the Bible. At others, it is neutral, while at others it is contrary to what the Bible describes. Most of the evidence that is found, however, is mute. That is, the reason why often in archaeology, two interpreters might take the same evidence and reach seemingly opposite conclusions. Despite these limitations, because of the work of archaeologists, we know more about the lives of the peoples in the biblical times than we discern from reading the Bible alone. We know the kinds of houses they lived in, their customs, what languages they spoke, the foods they ate, and even how they made out property deeds. More importantly, we are far richer in the manuscript evidence for biblical books, and our ability to understand these texts is far greater thanks to archaeological discoveries. All in all, it has proven to be a useful tool in biblical interpretation. In summary, I hope that you will enjoy reading the rich resources that have been provided for you in this module. May the Bible's ancient past, interpreted through the lens of archaeology, fill you with awe and curiosity so as to dig deeper and deeper to discover new and exciting things.